Hi, I'm Dr. Roger Elmer, Advanced Neurospinal Solutions, and today we're going to discuss breastfeeding and neurodevelopment of your child. And we're not going to talk about tactile stimulation and how that affects the brain. We're not going to talk about the connection between mom and baby. We're not going to talk about the acquired immunity or the nutrition value of breastfeeding. Those have all been covered very well, but what we're going to discuss today is visual inputs and how that assists in developing the brain, and show you creative ways to improve the development of your child's brain through creative positioning of that child during breastfeeding. When we discuss the visual system, we have to see the eyes like cameras, and those cameras take light information, and the retinas themselves, the rods and cones, turn that light information into electrical signals and pass it on down the line. You do not see with your eyes. You see with the brain in the back, which is called the occipital lobe, and it's all the way in the back. Here we have a couple of eyeballs. This is the left eyeball, this is the right eyeball. We're looking down here. And so when we have information coming from the right side, it comes through here and touches this half of the retina. This half of the retina is going to contribute nerve fibers that are going to cross over and stay on the left side, so that part of the eyeball is viewing the right world, the baby's right world. Can you see me over here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then the information from the right world is also going to the inside of this eyeball, right, closer to the nose. This is the nose in here. And that retina is going to cross over and go to the left. So it allows so that the left sides of the eyeball are going to take the right world in and translate that information over here. Now that's going to be very helpful because we also take information from our right body and transfer it into that left brain, so that we have the information of our world and our body all together as one. We're not searching around the brain trying to find, well, I've got my right body over here and my right world on the other side. We're not looking for that. It's all in the same side and close to the same area. So then we take the information that's coming from this direction, the left world. It's coming just exactly the opposite. It's crossing over, and will represent the retina over here with this, and the nerves that are supplied here. It's the stuff that's coming from over here and hitting this part of the retina are staying on the right side of the brain, are going to the right side of the brain. And then the stuff that's coming over here to the inside of this eyeball is crossing over. Now the crossover is really important because that gives you your depth perception. That kind of like when you're playing with binoculars and it's two pictures, and then you start to bring it, and then all of a sudden, whoop, it's one picture, even though it's two sets of lenses. That's binocularity. And this gives us our binocularity and a three-dimensional effect visually of our world. And so we're gonna use this concept that when you're breastfeeding and you have the baby on this side, the baby is mostly seeing you coming down from this position, right? And so it's coming from you down, and notice the eyeballs here. It's coming mostly to the inside of the right eyeball and to the outside of the left eyeball. So we are developing more the left side of the brain than the right side. That's why it's really important to switch around, because when you switch around, then the baby is visually seeing you, and that the information is going to the outside of the right eyeball and the inside of the left eyeball, and developing more the right cortex, the right cerebral cortex. And so that's the right and the left of it. So you want to make sure you get a balanced approach to it. But we're going to get even more finite than that. We're going to take now and look at the eyeballs straight on, and we're going to see that information and light not only can be divided up into right and left, but we can top and bottom. So if we have an eyeball here and here, I guess we should have done it black. Let's do it black. Okay. Eyeball, eyeball. This time it's going to be the right because we're looking straight on. This is the right eyeball. This is the left eyeball. We're going to look at that. And we can not only divide it up into right and left, but we can also divide it up into top and bottom. Right? And so when we are receiving information, we look at it from the side here. We look at just one eyeball here. Here it is right here. And we got information coming from the top, coming down, versus information coming from the bottom up. That's what we're talking about now. Because the information that comes from the top down is going to hit more the bottom of the retina. So we can divide it up. So now we can have a right and a left and a top and a bottom. And so if mom is holding the baby like this and doing the breastfeeding, she's coming more to the left side, the outside of the left eyeball, the inside of the right, the outside of the left eyeball, the inside of the right eyeball. But also, because of the tilt of the head, she's coming more to the top of the retina than the bottom of the retina. If it's like this, it's coming more to the bottom of the retina. Very interesting. So it can determine which part of the parietal lobe on the right or left we're spending more time. If we hit the top of the retina follows a pathway that spends more time in the parietal lobe. And the bottom of the retina spends more time in the temporal lobe. Okay? So we can decide if we're dividing this all up, and this is the right, this is going to the right, obviously, because it stays on the same side. And this is going to the right. This is going to the left brain, and this is going to the left brain. But if the information is coming from below up, this is going to the parietal lobe, parietal, and this is going to the temporal. But what you need to know is that is information. To go to the temporal lobe, the vision has to come from above down or from below up. Now, traditionally, when moms hold the baby, it's more like this. So, and with that, we're hitting more the temporal lobe. When we take the baby and reflect the baby back with the butt more up in the air, you could even throw the legs over the shoulder. Then you're getting your vision, the vision of you is coming to the tops of the retinas. And so you can do some breastfeeding this way on both sides and some breastfeeding this way on both sides. And that way, you're not only developing right and left, but you're getting both the temporal and the parietal lobes and fully developing both areas. If you're only breastfeeding this way, you're only getting mostly the temporal lobe. Thank you.